important it is. So once again, we are back on another week to discuss the topic of investing. Yes, I said last week. I'll say a percent is about it. I continue the topic and to get deeper into the topic. Into brother Asiem, and I was always making time to myself about this time and to you try to say every week about Monday night to me Brahmo information a bit my boy nipa. It's my yeah I'm at 1 to 1 to it's my kabom into a bush for just have a BMT opa brother Sim yeah trying to yeah start here.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, Dr. Awuah, also, one of my kwaba, Miss Mema kwaba to Era One Radio, yada, yetia for hinase, sir, every Monday, be no, mumoki a time to come and take part in this valuable information. Yeah, woma, like we say all the time, I think so. One of the things we are hoping is information yeah is not an information that we'll just take in and that's it, but take in, act on it, and make adjustments where need be. And we appreciate all the viewers for taking the time to be with us. And like you said, for some time now we've been treating it investment. Now it's a topic be like you can last week, it's complex. It's a complex thing because in our mind, when we think about investment, so many things comes into our mind, and we're
Sure.
trying to figure out, okay, what do I do? Where do I start? And even how do I do it? And
Sure.
see, last week we spent more time talking about the basics in terms of even before you consider investing, what do you need to do?
Sure.
Because in anything, it comes with planning.
Yep.
You don't just get up saying, "Ma sorry, may go DC," with no agenda. Where am I going in DC? I mean, what am I going to do? I don't even have any plan. I don't even have an address, nothing. It's the same thing with investments. Anytime we want to indulge or engage in investment, we need to have a plan.
Yes.
And last week, Dr. Awuah mentioned specifically, said, one of the things that we need to take into consideration before we even think about investing is having a budget.
Yep.
Budget. It is something, in fact, they be on your back can't want some, sir, because once you have the budget, it helps you to know, sir, do I have any excess income? I can afford to put it away. Me ho enchire me. So these are some of the things that we're looking at, and then we'll build on it. What are some of the investment things that we can put our money in? Is that even something? Do we have one size fits all? If somebody is doing stocks, do I also have to do stocks? The answer is maybe no. If somebody is doing mutual funds, do I also have to do mutual funds? The answer is maybe no. So it depends on each body's situation, how you find yourself in a better say, let me put my money here, let me do this. And now, sir, as we've said in the past, you need to educate yourself and know, sir, is this something that am I able to do it? Or do I need an expert? So these are some of the questions we'll try to answer today and get deeper into some of the investment vehicles that are available out there. You bet to me look into.
Yeah. I think so, brother Sim. You did a nice job summarizing what we discussed last week. As we mentioned, investing can be very complicated if you don't have a grasp of the topic. And about investment, so now, and you can invest. You can. There's so many things you can invest in. The key is to figure out what is suitable for you as an individual. As brother Asiem mentioned, it's not every investment that fits one person can fit the other person, right? We are all in different financial states, and we are all making different financial decisions. And not everybody is in a state to be able to invest money. I want to continue to always emphasize that point. Not everybody can invest money because some people may be better off focusing on paying off what their debt because of the high interest that the debt is holding, right? So last week we discussed, and once again we talked about the basics, right? Making sure you have a budget, making sure that you have a thorough understanding of your finances, what's coming in, what's going out. Do I have enough to be able to invest? And if so, now how much can I invest per month? Am I going to invest every month? Am I going to invest every 6 months? Am I going to invest once a year? All those questions have to be answered before you go ahead and try to invest money. And also, what kind of investments are suitable for me? What kind of risk am I willing to take? Some people are not willing to take no risk at all. And in that scenario, investment may not be the best thing for them, or they may want to find very, very conservative investments. And there are those that are available, right? So it also depends on what stage of life you are. Are you in early stage in life? Are you, in 18s? Are you in your 20s? Are you in your 30s? Are you in your 40s? 50s or 60s, right? They may dictate what kind of things you can invest in. How close are you to retirement, right? That's also going to have an impact on what you can or will want to invest in. So I think that today, we're going to try to get a little bit deeper into this topic because, once again, our goal is to try to make things as easy and as smooth for you guys as possible, right? And when it comes to investing, we all have heard of so many different things that people can invest in, right? We've all heard of stocks, right? Which is one thing that I think that almost everybody have heard of stocks, right? Uh, Unfortunately, not everybody's heard of bonds, right? That's another way you can invest money, which is in bonds. Now, the difference is there are some significant difference between stocks and bonds. And hopefully, if time permits, we're going to try to go more in depth and so you guys can understand how these two investment vehicles work and whether they are suitable for you or not. As brother Asiem also alluded to earlier, there are also something called mutual funds, right? That's another investment vehicles. And, depending on how you understand it, they may be very suitable for a particular person, right? They also have something called exchange traded funds, ETFs. It's another way you can also invest money. And ETFs and mutual funds have a lot of similarities, but also have a lot of differences as well, right? You have people can what Bitcoin, which is one of the most recent things, right? And everybody's jumping everywhere trying to go buy Bitcoin. But unfortunately, most people do not understand what Bitcoins are and how to invest in Bitcoins. What are the risks involved? What are the payouts involved, right? But I've seen so many people just jump automatically into Bitcoins without having a proper understanding of how these investment vehicles work, right? And every day a new coin is coming out, right? So now the question is, what coin do I even invest in? Bitcoin, Ethereum, they have all kind of names, right? But the question is, am I comfortable investing in these type of vehicles? Do I know enough to be able to invest in those things? So once again, you also have real estate, right? That's another vehicle. Some people, all the entire investment, all the money they have is investing in real estate. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what they feel very comfortable doing, right? And that's maybe the investment that they understand very, very well, right? So it can work very, very well for them. And there's been plenty of people who have become multimillionaires just investing in real estate, right? So it's a very, very powerful way to invest money. Also, if you have some knowledge and understanding of how to invest in those items. Like I said, as we go on, we can discuss more and more investments that people can put their money in. So, brother Asiem, what are your thoughts, about these different ways to invest money? Are you a fan of one or other ones compared to other ones, or what's your take on those?
Okay, really, really great question. And as I'm saying in the past, yeah, can't in life, every decision that you make, you need to have a plan.
Yeah.
And you said earlier on, sir, depending on where you are in your life, sometimes determines the type of investment is a way.
Yeah.
if I'm probably in my late 60s, heading to my early 70s, the question then becomes, is stocks, is that a right investment tool for me?
Yeah.
Do I want to take risk at the age of 70? Do I want to take that risk? Because I've seen people that have died not because of illness, but because of the market fluctuation. The way AC Kono and seeing their money from maybe $10 down to $1.
Yeah.
Just the panic in it alone can easily your friend is end your life. So you need to be careful once you get into some of these things. Into the national can't say investments, and you need to have a goal in mind. Why am I even considering investment? Am I doing this for retirement? If you're doing this for retirement, then I need to understand, sir, if it's for retirement, then it's for a long term. So right now, I look at myself, maybe you have like 10, 15, 20, 30 years to retire. So you started now, knowing that in 20 years' time, you can live comfortably off that money now you set aside in your investment. So at this age, because I'm young, you are able to take some risk because you know that, say even some markets in drop now, come maybe next year, chances are you'll pick up. 5 years you'll pick up, but nothing is guaranteed. It can pick up at some point, it's gonna drop again. So what do I do? So to answer your question, do I have like a preference? My simple answer is I don't have a preference, but I love to do a bit of everything. It's just like I'm saying, but several weeks ago, near Asiem said, investment is more like you preparing soup or like stew. There are so many ingredients that goes in there to make that soup. It's the same thing with your friend is an investment. There is something we call a portfolio. And within that portfolio, it's like, say, you are traveling, you have your suitcase. And in that suitcase, you have your shirt, you have your tie, you have your suit, you have your pants, you have your shoes, everything in there. But it's in one suitcase. You pick up the suitcase, everything is in there. It's the same thing with investment. We have a portfolio. And in that portfolio, you have the recommendation is have a different mix of the different investment vehicles out there in that portfolio. And the reason why it is always good to do that is because maybe one of them will do good, will help to boost your investment. Maybe you have another one that would do poorly, very bad. But because you have another one in there that is doing good, it helps to balance it out. So think about it, right now, my preference maybe is stocks. That's the only thing that I have. So if the market goes down, I'm doomed. If it goes up, hey, hooray, now I'm what? I'll be rich. So in order to avoid that uncertainty and that panic, internet nyawe kakra, even a mixture of like 4 helps to go a long way to balance yourself out. Maybe Doc, maybe one of the things we can do like right now to help our viewers, we can maybe pick like one, like stocks, talk about the pros and cons, and people will know, say, hey, maybe at my time, maybe it's good, let me get into it. Or maybe based on my age, it is too risky for me, so let me do something different. And we can maybe pick them like one by one, some of these vehicles, talk about it, give it pros and cons, and maybe help. So when somebody is listening now, they will be able to make the choice and say, okay, based on my age, I'm staying away from stocks. Or based on my age, I'm going to be aggressive and focus on stocks, for now till I get to a certain age. I think I want to your friend say add more.
Yeah, that's a very good point. And whenever I sit or I meet with individuals, families, whatever, potential clients, right? And they want to talk about investments, or they want to know, maybe they inherited some money, or maybe they have some extra money on the side they want to put away, or maybe they just want to learn about how to invest money, right? And they always ask what's available and what can I invest in, right? So I always ask them, how risky or how conservative are you? Oftentimes they say, well, I'm not really sure. By nature I could be aggressive, but maybe when it comes to my money, I don't want to lose my money, right? And it's funny when you have this conversation with somebody who is in their early years of their life compared to somebody who is in their 60s or closer retirement. Oftentimes you get very, very different answers. The person who is early on in their lives, they are willing to take more risk, especially when they properly understand how investments work. The one who is closer to retirement, they don't want to lose a single penny of their money, because why? They work so hard for that money. They want to make sure that money can last them for the rest of their lives. Does that make sense? So I think it may be best if we kind of focus a little bit on these two different kind of people, right? And see what could be maybe the ideal investment for that person in this age group compared to another person in this age group, right? So let's look at somebody who is, let's say, 20, right? So, brother, so let's say you're 20 years old, right? You just started working, you start making a little bit of money, right? And you will now want to learn how to invest, right? And you meet with an advisor, and you say, oh, I've heard about stocks, I'm interested in investing in stocks. So now I'll ask you, what do you know about stocks? So, brother Sam, put yourself in a position of somebody who is 20. If I ask you that question, so okay, well, brother Sam, if I ask you, you're interested in investing in stocks, right? Perfect. So, brother Sam, what do you know, or what have you heard about stocks?
Okay. So when we say AFN is stocks, as a young person, like 20-year-old guy, chances are I probably don't even know a whole lot about stocks. All what I hear on TV, said they are talking about stocks, they're talking about shares, and those terms are used interchangeably, and they mean the exact same thing.
Okay.
So, said, I don't even know a whole lot about it.
Okay.
So,
okay, perfect.
No. No. What I'm saying is I'm putting the person, like the 20-year person,
Yes.
I'm sitting in front, trying to understand that they come to you, they've heard about it, they want to get into it, but they don't even know a whole lot about it. So how do we educate that person? For them to know what stocks is all about, the risk involved in it, and also, is that a right mix for that 20-year-old?
Yes. Okay, perfect. Right. So now, and I always think it's very, very important to always start with the basics, right? Because if you have the basic understanding of how these different investment tools work, you will feel much more comfortable about making the decision as far as like which one to go with, or which one is more suitable for you, right? As we mentioned, we're going to start with stocks, right? So whenever you hear the word stocks, right, in your mind, kind of put it on the same level as ownership, right? Think of it as ownership. You hear stock, think of it about ownership. Let's say I have a company, right? Company ABC, right? And I want to raise money to grow and build my company, right? So I'll come to you, Brother Sim. I said, Brother Sim, I have this great idea of a company. The company is a small company, but eventually it's going to become big, right? But right now I need to raise money to be able to grow my company, right? So I would then ask you, are you interested in helping me to grow my company? And if you're able to help me to grow my company, I can pay you some interest on your money. Are you interested?
Yeah, I'm interested because so long as you promise me you'll give me an interest on it, yes, I'm
Okay.
interested.
Okay, perfect. Well, here's the thing, right? When it comes to stocks, right, I cannot fully guarantee you that I'm going to pay you interest every single year, because why? The stock market goes up and it goes down. There may be some years where my company is going to be doing very well and we can pay you more interest, right? But there may be other years where my company is not doing as well, so we might not be able to pay you as much, right? But if you're going to believe in me, right, and you're going to take the journey with me, we may have a chance to be able to grow together. So what I'm asking you to do is, I'm asking you to buy shares in my company. Meaning, I'm asking you to become a part owner of my company. And the more shares of my company you own, the biggest stake you have in my company. And the more interest you can earn when we pay out those interest rates, right? So how does that sound to you?
It sounds great.
It sounds great. Okay, so
Yeah. And
that's great, right? Because number one, you're owning a part of my company, right? You allow me to be able to grow my company, and by doing so, I can, let's say, for example, right now, let's say, for example, right now, the shares of my stocks are costing, let's say, $10 per share. Let's say you buy 10 shares. What's it going to cost you? $100, right? Maybe in the next 5 years, there's an appreciation in my value, right? Maybe now my stock is worth, let's say, $30. You paid $10 for it, but now it's worth $30 per share. So if you have 10 shares and you paid $10 per shares, you now invested $100 for those 10 shares, right? But now those 10 shares are now worth $30 per share.
Yeah.
You see how much your money has grown in a very little time for a very small investment? Imagine if you invested significantly more. How much could you have had? A lot more, right? So now you are part owner in my company. That means in good times, you are part owner. But I have to also be very honest with you. In bad times, you are also a part owner, right? That means in the good times, when everything's going great and I'm paying you well, you are happy. But also be very mindful that there are going to be bad times where I'm not going to be able to pay you no interest at all because the company is not doing as well as they need to. It's my job to be very honest and open with you, right? So in knowing that, are you still feel like you're going to be part of my company, or are you a little bit worried?
I'm 50-50 right now.
50-50 right now. Okay, well, let me go a little bit further, right? If you decide to go into business and buy into my company and become a shareholder of my company, I also have to be very honest. If my company tomorrow, let's say for the next 5 years, we are doing very well, and on the 6th year, things go very, very bad, and we go out of business, I have to let you know that as a common stockholder, if we go out of business, the money that you invested in our company also is now gone.
Yeah.
Now, in knowing that, how confident are you to go to be a shareholder of my company? Because I want to be totally honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, the good thing is I'm really excited right now that you've been really open, transparent, and honest with me in terms of the risk involved if I invest in your company right now.
Yes.
Now, based on my age, 20 years old,
Yeah.
I'm looking at retirement the age of maybe like 65.
Okay, perfect.
So at least I have about 45 more years ahead of me.
Okay.
So I can trust you that even if the market goes up and down, even if this year things doesn't go well, I'm hoping in a year or two things will pick up.
Sure.
So I'm willing to take that risk with you now
Okay.
and be
Okay.
part owner of your business as we go forward.
Oh wow, that is really really awesome. And also, I also understand that you can invest in so many different companies out there who are much bigger than me, who are much more established, who can guarantee more interest rate and so forth, right? But because you are believing in me, and because you are willing to trust and invest money with me, and because I'm a small company, I'm willing to pay you more than what you will get from this established company. How does that sound?
It sounds great.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So if this company, let's say Walmart or Costco or Verizon or let's say Apple, if they're going to pay you, let's say this amount of interest, let's just say 10% interest, well, I'm willing to pay you 15%. How does that sound?
Hey, that sounds great. I
That
mean,
sounds
the
great,
more
right?
the better. Yeah.
Perfect, perfect. So now, ladies and gentlemen, we just now went through an example of what it means to be a stockholder or a shareholder, right? And I hope that made some sense, right? So just to kind of summarize the stocks, when you go and buy stock in a company, it means that you believe in that company. You believe that the company is going to grow. You believe that the company is special and is very unique, so that the company has very, very little competition or has no other competition. That means it can continue to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. You also believe that you're buying the shares today for a cheap price, but tomorrow the price of that share is going to go up high, meaning that you're going to make a lot of money, right? But
Mhm.
you're also understanding that you are buying share into the company. You are now a shareholder and you are now part owner of the company. That means if the company goes bankrupt, your money is also going to go what? Bankrupt, because you are owner of the company. You are buying ownership. Let's be very clear. Once again, you are buying ownership into the company, right? So whichever way the company goes, you're going to go as well, right?
Yeah.
Now, can I provide? Do you mind, my brother, if I provide you more education on how this thing's working?
Mhm.
See, a lot of times in my experience, right, the mistake I see a lot of people make is this. I know that I want you to invest in my company, right? But I also know that there's some risk involved in investing just in my company. From the
Mhm.
beginning, I've been very honest with you, right? So, as in my opinion, if I can suggest something to you, maybe what I can suggest is instead of just investing, let's just say you have $100,000. Instead of investing the whole $100,000 into my company, don't get me wrong, I would love that,
Mhm.
right? But I also know that I want to build trust with you. So I also don't want you to lose all your money in case something happens, because none of us know what tomorrow is going to bring. So instead of investing all your $100,000 with me, how about maybe you invest some with me, you invest some with Walmart, you invest some with Costco, you invest some with Apple, you invest some with Amazon, you invest some with AT&T. Let's say you divide your $100,000 into, let's say, 100 companies.
Mhm.
How does that sound?
That sounds great because right now it reduces my risk.
Ah,
Just in
that's right.
case, just in case you fold, I have other companies that I
That's right.
can rely on.
That's right. So now, does that make sense? I could gladly take all your money, right? But I also want to make sure that you also succeed as well. I believe my company is going to be very strong, and we're going to do very well for the future. But I also want to continue to build trust. And then so, in my opinion, I think maybe you can invest a good portion with me, but also make sure that you spread your investments amongst those other companies. Because why? There may be some years my industry might be down,
Mhm.
but maybe this other company's industry might be very high. So you can offset that change in your account value. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
now let me ask you a question. Based on what I've explained to you, which option sounds more interesting to you? Investing solely in all your money into my company, or investing in a broad range of companies?
Dr. Awuah, thank you so much. I mean, for one, educating me on this, and two, based on, and I repeat this, based on your honesty, your transparency, and taking the time to educate me on this, I think my better option right now is to invest in a different companies.
Okay.
I want to mitigate my risk.
Okay.
Just in case.
Great.
I mean, I trust you.
Sure.
I trust your company.
Yeah.
But
thank you.
I still want to spread my risk to like other companies just in case your company falls. Then I can rely on the other companies to balance out the loss that I'm making on your side.
And I love that answer. Even though I would love to get all your money, but I love that you are willing to invest in different companies. Let me ask you another question. Which option will help you to sleep better at night? Investing in 100 companies or investing only in my company?
I think I'll be more better off with more companies than just one company, because at the end of the day, just in your company, I mean,
that's right.
You can even liquidate a company and go.
That's right.
I lose all my money.
That's right.
But if I have like 5, 6, 7, 10 different companies,
that's right.
There's still some risk, but at least I can have the peace of mind to sleep. Because I know that if Dr. Awuah liquidates his business right now and run away with my money, it's only maybe like 10%.
That's right.
But I have the additional 90% in other areas that I can rely on.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So now, after us going through the exercise, do you feel comfortable understanding how stocks work? Do you feel very comfortable?
Oh yeah, now I feel very, very comfortable. And let me make this point, as we go on. My decision was based on two things that you said. Number one is, I'm investing.
Yes.
But not investing for investing sake, but I'm investing to hopefully get a return on that investment.
Okay.
Either to double my money or to get something in addition to the initial amount that I put in. So
I have a question.
You made mention of two things that really intrigued me for making my decision. Number one, you said if I invest in your company, one, I'll be earning some interest. I'm really excited about that because I need my money to work for me.
That's right.
Number two, you also mentioned that in addition to the interest, the price that I purchased today, which is maybe like $10, maybe in 6 months or a year or 2 years, that can double or triple or quadruple from the $10 to maybe like $40.
Appreciation.
So in addition to the interest rate, my original price has also gone up.
That's right.
So I have two sources of streams of income coming in. Double my interest rate.
That's right.
So that's why I made the decision that I made right now.
That's right. And I love that, right? And do you mind if I provide more education for you?
Yes.
Okay. You see, in my experience, right, as a business owner, I understand the importance of time when it comes to investing, whether you are younger or whether you are older, right? And would you agree that the younger you are, the more risk you can take?
Yes.
And the older you are, the less risk you can take, right?
Yes.
So do you see the importance of risk? Because now you are coming to buy ownership into my company. So automatically, you have now assumed some level of risk. Do you understand that?
Yes.
That's why I want to be very, very transparent with you that when you come, just like you go buy into any company, there's always going to be a level of risk. But because I'm a brand new company, I'm more risky. Because I'm not established yet. I don't know whether I'm going to succeed or not. I believe I'm going to succeed, but I'm a brand new company. Like I said, I believe in transparency. I'm a brand new company. So do you agree that my company is more risky compared to a company that's more established, let's just say Amazon?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because you're a new company, you're just starting up. We don't
That's
even
right.
know if you're gonna be around in the next 6 months.
That's right. That's right. So exactly. So in knowing that, so my advice to you is this: when you're going to go buy a stock or you're going to go invest in any company, always make sure, say, you do your research on that company and find out how long has that company been around. What does the company make? What product do they make? Is the product in a competitive market, right? Do they have a competitive advantage? Do they have a niche that only they are the best at? Or this company has so many other companies that are just like that. So maybe they might be able to go out of business, right? You have to look at all those things. How long have they been around? 20 years, 30 years, 100 years. The longer they've been around, the more trustworthy they are and the more what? Reliable they can be. But also don't forget, the longer that they've been around, because they are so confident and they know that they're going to be around for a longer time, the less interest they're going to pay you, right? Because they know, hey, we're the big shots, right? But let me also explain something very clearly to you. The mistake I see a lot of people make here is this: when they buy into a company, let's say they spend $1,000, they bought into this company, right? And the moment the stock market goes down, they panic and they run. Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my money. And they go and they pull their money out of the company. Now, let's say you put in $1,000, your money is now worth $200 because the market has gone down by 80%, right? So now, how are you feeling? You are panicking, right? Even though you're young, you are still panicking. You don't lose all your money, right? So your initial reaction is you're going to go run and you're going to go pull that money out. Now, let me ask you a question. Have you lost that $800 because you pulled the money out? Yes.
Yeah, soon as I pulled it out, yeah, I've lost that.
You lost it, right? It's something called realized loss, meaning that the account value, although it was down, because you did not understand the difference between realized and unrealized loss, you went and pulled that money out because of lack of education. But if you had left that money as it is, even though it was down, right? Because think about it, it's only paper, right? The account value was just down. It did not mean that your money was gone. It just meant that the value of your investment was down. And Mr. Asiem, if you look at the stock market, since 1926, there are only two things any financial advisor like myself can guarantee you. Number one, the stock market is going to go up. Number two, the stock market is going to go down. So if you understand these two principles here, when it goes down, you don't panic. Because why? You know guarantee what it's going to go do. It's going to go back up at some point, which nobody knows, right? But if once you understand that and you left your money alone, it's called what? Unrealized loss. But when the money go back up again, you have now made your money back. Because you understood that even though it's down right now, at some point it's going to go back up. The biggest mistake I see people make is they pull their money out and they have accepted their loss. Right? So my advice to you is this: when you invest money, think long term. Right? And when you think long term, when something happens in the short term, you don't panic or you don't fear, because fear causes you to make bad decisions. But when you know, hey, I'm investing 10, 15, 20 years, I have time on my side. And let me ask you another point. Let me ask you a question. What is your favorite store to shop?
Well, it depends on what I'm buying.
Okay, let's
But
say shoes.
if shoes, my favorite will be going to like Men's Warehouse.
Okay, perfect. Men's Warehouse, right? Let's say you have your favorite kind of shoes at Men's Warehouse, and the favorite kind of shoe costs you about $300 for the pair of shoes, right? Would you want to go buy that pair of shoe at $300 full market value, or would you prefer to go buy that same shoe when it's on sale half off? Which one would you want to do?
Look, I want to get it half off plus an additional 25% discount.
Oh, okay, perfect. So you prefer to buy that shoe when the market value is very low, huh?
Yes.
Okay, let me ask you a question. When the stock market goes down, what do you think is happening?
A lot of people are in there aggressively buying that because they know that at some point it will go up again.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. So if you will go and buy your shoe, you prefer to buy it when it's half price. Why is it that you panic and you scared and you pull your money when the stock market is down? Isn't the same thing when it goes down? It's on sale, right?
Yeah.
So the same way you think to go buy a shoe when it's half price is the same way you must think to go buy the market when it's down, right? The idea, I'm not telling you to wait until the market go down before you go buy, because you may wait forever.
Right.
But what I'm trying to explain to you is when it's down, you don't panic. You just give it time. That's why I mentioned earlier, your age determines what you invest in. Because if you are approaching retirement, waiting will be a very scary thing because you don't know whether it's going to go down even more than that.
Yeah.
But in your 20s, you have a long time, so you can be very, very patient. So, Mr. Asiem, that is why for somebody in your around your age group, you can afford to invest in some stocks, in some mutual funds, in some ETFs, in some bonds. Why? Because even when the market go down, it's okay because why? You have a long time to recover.
Yeah.
But for somebody, let's say your father or your grandfather who's in their 60s about to retire, maybe these stocks or mutual funds may not be the best for them. They may be better off investing in much more secure and safe investments.
Yeah.
And there are so many of those around, but the specific ones are the best for them. And so if you have a father or a grandfather that also wants to learn about where they can put their money, do you think they want to know how to safeguard their money? Right? So let me ask you, let's say you are 65. What is your biggest concern about your investment?
Losing my money.
Losing your money.
Because
so if there's a product that will allow you 100% protection on your money, but your money will still grow, and there are no fees for that product, would you be interested in that product?
Hey, count me in.
so if I told you such products exist,
yeah,
would you believe me?
Yeah. Yes, I believe you.
But they are available for people who are in their latest stages of their lives, because the companies can only afford to insure these things for a short period of time. Somebody who is very, very young cannot qualify for this because why? It will cost those companies too much money to be able to guarantee that your money will never ever go down.
Yeah.
So now you see the difference between somebody being young and somebody being older. The person who is older, their number one key is making sure they don't lose a dime. The person who is younger can afford to take much more risk in the ups and downs of the stock market. So, Mr. Asiem, has today's meeting been very valuable to you?
It has, and I'm so excited. I'm overjoyed right now because now I know where to put my money.
Okay, good.
And how to do it.
Yes.
And you know something that you also mentioned, Emsa, the previous weeks, we talked about the basics. The preparation that we need to do in order for us to even think about investing.
Yes.
Now, and based on the analysis that we just did, it tells me that if I don't have any excess income, I shouldn't venture in investment.
Yeah.
I need to keep my money secured. One, because based on what we just analyzed right now, who said, me decide some micro stocks anymore, I can easily lose my money.
Yes.
I can easily gain that money.
That's right.
And last week, we mentioned, sir, especially we the Africans, not just in diaspora right now, our money is on the go. We have so much responsibilities. We have our families back home. They are depending on us. Like every week, there's this phone call. I need money for this. I need money for that. So the question then becomes, can I afford to lose that $1,000 that I've set aside in the stock market? Can I afford to lose it? Maybe I'll go crazy when I lose that $1,000. So the idea can say, in order for you to decide, say, this $1,000, Mami Fankoto Apple stocks, or Mami Fankoto Walmart stocks, or Mami Fankoto General Motors stocks, I need to be mindful of the fact, I can easily lose that money. And because of that, if I lose it, do I have other income that I can fall on to take care of my family, to take care of all the phone calls that are coming from Ghana? If the answer is no, then maybe, like you said, you ended, at your later part, and say, look for a safe vehicle. Sikano dawa, say, like whatever happens, your initial investment is secure.
Yeah.
You're not going to lose that. And therefore, we are building on from where last week where we started. Investment is great, but it's not for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Based on your financial and based on your age and based on there's a lot that goes in that you need to analyze before you make that decision.
Yep. And I think, sir, the thing about investment, right, is best to take it in bit by bit, right? So what I would prefer to do is for us to just, I love how you summarize everything we went to today. And I love how we use this scenario to explain instead of just talking about how these things work. It's always best to do an example so people can see and have a better picture of how these things work. So we said, I hope I said, you guys enjoyed it, because I think that's how people can really, really learn how to understand these investment vehicles. So what we're going to do is this. We don't want to overwhelm you guys or give you guys so much information. You just focus and just on stocks. Then the next time, we can go into another investment vehicle. I believe, most of the people on this call are folks who are older. We can look at some of those safe investments which will allow you to be able to protect your money 100%, but still able to earn some growth. Maybe we can go a little more in depth into those plans, and then maybe on the next time around we can go more into depth about the other kinds of investments as well. So by the Asiem, I think a next topic about deep investments in stocks. I think it was very well done, and I think it was nicely, and it helped to explain some of the major differences and some of the major risk when it comes to investing. As you mentioned, right? Anything time you invest money anywhere, there's always going to be a certain level of risk. And depending on what you invest in, the risk can be great or it can be minimized. And depending on how you invest your money, it's either all in one or all in several. Like our parents always tell us, right? Don't put all your money in one basket, right? Because when you put it all in one basket and you lose it, you lose all your money. The Bible also tells us, right? Cast your investments among what? Many places, because you do not know what tomorrow brings, right? It's the same concept, right? By investing your money in different investment tools or in different companies, you limit your risk of you losing your money. So with that, I would like for us to be able to end here on this topic today and give you guys some time to be able to take everything in, digest it, and make sure much and understand it. That way, the next time we get on a call, please bring any questions you have. Write it down. Write it down. By next time now, it's questions. Yes, I provide them more answers. And brother Sim, do you have anything else you want to add before we'll close the shop?
Yeah, the emphasis with the count is maybe you are considering investing. It is not a bad thing. We are not discouraging anybody from investing. That's not our goal right now. our goal is to share some light, share some things about the different types of investment that you can go to. Now, maybe you are interested, you want to do it, but you don't even know how, and you don't even know where. Our recommendation is seek a financial advice. In fact, you go to most of the financial institutions that we bank with, they provide some of this information for free. You can go in, sit with somebody, they will help you and get you started. Don't do it on your own if you don't have any idea what you're getting yourself into. And yes, you lose it, but seek advice, seek help, and you'll be better off. Indeed, we make ourselves available during the week. And if you have any questions or anything, Biana, what the your friends, Dr. Osetutu, once on November and second the questions, then once we come back and we'll begin answering some of these questions, and a lot of us we have, because we don't even know what to do and where to start. And until we are here to help, we want to make ourselves available to all of us.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And for with that, we'll go ahead and conclude the show. And we hope, sir, what's me extra and as always, it's always a pleasure to come here and educate you guys and provide value to you guys. And we hope, sir, you guys are just not coming here and just listening. We hope I say more take information and more apply to your own life, because it really, really makes a difference if you choose to apply it. And with that, may God continue to bless you all. Take care and have a wonderful, blessed rest of the week. Okay. Everybody take care. And Brother Asiem, I'll see you on another one.
All right. Thank you. Mm-hmm.